Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup.
Hi.
Hey mate, how are you?
I'm good. What's your name?
I'm Nev.
Nev, like N-E-V, like Victor?
That's the one. Yeah, Nev, like
Nice.
short for Neville,
Nice.
but you know.
Yeah. Sounds very English, actually, but I guess you guys are kind of the English outcasts, right? And haven't you always been defined that way?
Yeah, they kicked us out somewhere, right?
Yeah, somewhere along the line.
Michael, it is an absolute honor to have you on the show, mate. How's everything going over there? Huh?
Well, probably like everywhere else in the world, it's hot. I'm looking forward to coming to Australia, which I understand it might be a little bit cooler there.
Yeah.
I moved from Los Angeles to Bisbee, and I live up in the mountains and here in Arizona where it's supposed to be really cool, but I think it was still in the 90s today. So I was leaving LA to get away from the heat, but I'm still in it. I'm not sure if there's any place else to go. I think I might might be hot from now on in,
Man, I tell you what, though, you're going to have to pack a jumper because it's going to be like the complete opposite, like it is dropped here in Australia. It's really cold.
Good. I'm glad, I haven't, what do you know, like Celsius, like how much, like what that would be, like where you are? Because you guys probably like are like, when I think of cold, I think of something lower than 50 degrees. Is that like?
Yeah, we're 14 degrees here on the Gold.
Okay, do you know what that means, American?
Maths.
Never mind.
I have no idea.
I'll figure it out once I get over there.
Yeah,
no problem.
Well, of course, you're touching down to Australia this week for the Supanova Comic Con and gaming convention in Sydney. And man, I got to say, when you were announced, my news feed just blew up. I got quite a few messages from other excited fans as well. And man, is this your first time in Australia for? Well, of course, for a con, but it completely. Is this your first time?
Well, I think I was there for some sort of personal appearance, or it's been so long ago. I feel like it's 8 or 10 years ago, but I was in and out of Sydney, I believe, very, very quickly, and really didn't get a chance to see anything or do anything. It might have been some form of a Comic-Con. I do believe I've been in Sydney once, but I think I was there for 48 hours. So I have not experienced Australia at all. So I'm looking forward to coming, and I'm looking forward to Supernova, and they haven't announced it yet, so I can't really be very specific, but I'm coming over to Australia to do a film. And
yes.
That's why everything's just kind of lining up, and Supernova happened to be about the time I was coming over. I think I'll do the Supernova and then start the movie like a week or two later. So when I do the film, I think I'll be there for 8 weeks or 10 weeks, and I'll really get a chance to see Australia. Not only bigger cities, but I think there's a lot of stuff out in the bush, as they say, and it'll be interesting. Should be a fun movie to work on.
Well, I don't want to spoil it, but I know someone who's on that crew. He's a
okay.
Yeah, he's like pretty excited. So I won't spoil anything. I'm just gonna let but it sounds awesome.
These days, because of the internet and everything, they want to make their announcement when they're fully cast and kind of crewed up, which I think is going to be about a week from now. and the wanted on Deadline or the Hollywood Reporter or something like that. So these days, almost no matter what you work on, because of the internet, everything's kind of secretish. I mean, I did an episode of The Walking Dead late last summer, and it was like their 12th season, and they'd done like 110 of them, whatever. But like my script had my name on it. I had to sign a confidentiality thing, and I'm like, really? People are, but I guess people can get a hold of the script and ideas, and so we are living in a world that, as far as communicating ideas and what movies are about, are not the same as they were when I was, or not the same as they have been for most of my career. Put it that way.
Yeah, so, I know it's crazy. It is crazy. Even the last few years, it's just you can't even have something to eat without everybody knowing what.
No, I know. I know.
But sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because you did Mandalorian, and I'm sure that was even like they would have had things locked down way more. Like Disney would have had like snipers on roofs and stuff.
Well, that was very locked down too, but you'd be surprised on that one. When I went outside, I had to have like a robe thrown over me in case, I guess, somebody took a picture or something like that. So yeah, that was very, very, very secret. And but so is everything these days. And I understand you don't want to give away too much about your TV show or your film before somebody gets a chance to see it. You kind of want to, I guess, manage that how much does the audience get to see or know about the film that you're working on before it actually comes out. So it's understandable.
100%. But to me and my generation especially, your portrayal of all these characters have been incredibly inspiring and important to us, and the connections we have growing up. We were the ones in the backyard before the internet playing Aliens and Terminator and Predator and all that, and some of us have gone on to acting or even serving in the military. Now, you must hear lots of stories from fans about that and how that has inspired them. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Being a kind of playing a character that are usually kind of alpha males, they definitely resonate with veterans, with military, there's a movie that is probably not as popular in Australia as it is in America, because we're like the home of like the Westerns and the Old West and all that. But the movie that really seems to resonate more than anything that I've done before now is Tombstone.
Oh yeah.
But Tombstone, for years it was always the Terminator and Aliens, but Tombstone is a movie that I get a lot of people from Afghanistan and Iraq, who basically said, they were playing that on a loop. I've got people that I've talked to, veterans that have been in, I'm trying to think of the name of the hospital now. It's a very famous hospital, but that they played Tombstone on a loop, and I'll think of that name in a second. But so yeah, I mean, there's like a handful of movies that I'm well known for: Terminator, Aliens, The Abyss. Oh. Tombstone now seems to be kind of the most pop. Walter Reed Hospital is what I was trying to think of. Tombstone now seems to be more popular than any of them. Of course, I did The Rock with Michael Bay, and there's a few others that are pretty good movies, but those are the ones that I'm I'm really known for. And yes, it resonates not only with former military, but guys that are in the military, police officers. I get like police officers. I got pulled over 2 days ago, and the guys, and I did do something kind of stupid, and he's like, yeah, okay, what's your name? I gave him my license. He went back to his car. He probably not only looked me up on, I told him I was an actor. He probably not only looked me up on, to make sure I didn't have any warrants, which of course I didn't, but he obviously probably got in his phone and Googled me, and then immediately came back and just handed me my license and said, "You're good, sir." So it, the movies that I've done and being popular in that kind of, in those type of movies has this upside. And I'm looking back now, I've been doing it almost close to 50 years. And so it's, I'm really kind of pleased that, I'm obviously pleased that I ran into Jim Cameron and that I auditioned for him and I got the Terminator, because that kind of set everything in motion as far as working on the 3 movies with Jim, and then doing like Tombstone and The Rock, and like all sorts of stuff, television and smaller and bigger films. So it's been quite a career. I've been able to travel all over the world also, although not to Australia so much, but I have been able to travel all over the world. And I guess I'm lucky. I did work hard. I worked very, very hard. It took my roles very, very seriously, but I was in the right place at the right time, and I've had a wonderful, wonderful chance to work with some really awesome, not only directors, Billy Friedkin twice. I did 2 movies with Billy, but other actors, people like Ed Harris, and Forsyth, and just a lot of really, really, really good people. Charlie Sheen I worked with, and just like a lot of really interesting, fun people to be around. It's been a great, great career and a lot of fun.
Man, I tell you what, it's always fun to watch you. It's always, whenever I see that there's Michael Biehn in a movie, I get very excited. And so do all my friends. So we're big fans down here, mate. As I said, everyone's very, very excited to meet you down in Sydney. And of course, I mean, there's a really great photo that circulates online of you and this little girl dressed as Ripley recreating the gun training scene. And it's adorable. Have there been any other fan interactions like that's been really memorable for you at these cons?
Well, that was somebody got a hold of that picture and did that. And that was a lot of fun. It was very touching. Like I said, I meet a lot of veterans and I hear a lot of stories. I know I know how much the movies that I've done have affected people, but see, I have found when I go out to an event like Supernova, that at least in America and in Europe, that everybody's welcome. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, what your religion is, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you're conservative or liberal, whether you're gay or straight. And it just seems to be like everybody just seems to be having fun. It's like, I don't know if you guys do Halloween over there, but it's just like kind of everybody dresses up, and it's not just, young kids. There are people that come to see me that are, well into their 60s and 70s and sometimes 80s. And everybody just seems just excited, and everybody just seems to have a good time. And it's one of the places that it's like a party, but and a lot of times they serve alcohol, and I've never really seen, and I've done quite a few of them, and I've never seen any anger or fights break out, or it just seems like they're having such a good time. And that's really kind of what I like about it. You kind of enter this zone, which is like a party, and you just, have a good time, and people are dressed up and, role playing. And I just, I just like it. I just think it's fun. It's like Halloween. And I have 5 boys, but I've got one now who's 7, who, absolutely loves going to these things, and he'll be around. And Jennifer, my wife, of course, will be with me. And, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, meeting people in Australia, because, like I said, I really haven't had a chance to spend much time there. And it's always interesting to spend time in a foreign country where you speak the same language. It's like England, where, it's different. They talk differently, they eat differently, there's the way they speak, the way you got, it's different. It's just different. It's a different culture completely. But if I go to France, or if I go to Germany, or it's different, but I can't understand anything. I don't speak those languages.
Yeah.
But in Australia and England and a few other spots, although English seems to be kind of a prevailing language these days, you get an idea of what people are like someplace else. And Australia, I'm looking forward to it for that reason. And I'm working on my, I think they call it Dingo Lingo. And
yeah, and it's very colorful as well. The language here, you'll probably find the crew will make you, because they'll probably say a few things that'll make you guys blush. But that's just how we are down here, I guess. But you'll get used to it.
Oh yeah. No, I and that's kind of what I love about England, which I've spent lots and lots of times there, and shot a couple of movies. We did Aliens there, and I did a movie called Lords of Discipline years ago. That's where I met Bill Paxton, and first met Bill Paxton. And the different, it's just different. The culture is different, and but I'm expecting Australia to be a lot of fun.
I think so too. And you're probably going to sign tons of action figures. And I've got one here. I was going to show. I've got the original Kenner Hicks here, who I've had since a little dude. He's been with me all my life.
For some reason, I can't see you anymore. I just looked at my phone to see what you were holding up.
Really? Here, I'll switch it back on. I was just going to save the bandwidth, but here I'll switch it on. There we go. There we go.
Let me get. All right, let me get.
There he is, brother.
Let me see if it's. Wow, that might not. That's Hicks, right?
Yeah, man. That's a little tiny you that I've had since the early 90s, man, running around the backyard.
Look at the muscles on that guy. Holy cow.
Yeah, I know, right? Look at that. Mate, guns for days, that dude. But yeah, I've had that for many, many years, dude. And obviously the likenesses of these things, like the NECA figures they've got now, and they're insane. Like, you probably see heaps of those. Do you collect those yourself? Have you got like a collection of figures of yourself?
No, and I'm not that guy that really has got anything. Actually, I've got a statue of me playing Johnny Ringo downstairs that somebody did out of bronze, which is very, very nice. There's so much stuff out there, so many pictures, so many pulse rifles, so many Nike tennis shoes, so much stuff that people are familiar with that I either wore or carried, and that I'd have a whole room full of stuff. And I'm just kind of not that guy. But because I've been going to the Comic Cons over the years, I think I've seen just about everything. Although the figure that you just showed me, when I get there, if I looked at it, I could say, oh yeah, I know this. But even the one that you held up is not that familiar. And they just keep coming out with different versions of the same thing, just to squeeze as much money as they possibly can out of the franchise that you possibly worked on. And so I think I've seen 4, 5, 6 different Reeses, and I've seen at least that many Hicks from Aliens, and now they're doing those pop-ups and stuff like that. And so it's flattering, I guess. I kind of owe most of my success to the people that wrote the scripts and directed them, like Cameron and like Michael Bay and Billy Friedkin and people like that. But it's I guess it's you just get used to it. And I guess it's kind of cool. But I've been kind of dealing with a certain amount of being well known since I was about 20. And I did a movie called The Fan with Lauren Bacall.
Oh, and, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. They started, they start writing about you. And luckily I've been able to navigate all that and kind of enjoy it. But you can't take any of it, too seriously. My son has got like a Kyle Reese doll that he just found. I guess we left it here last week. I live in LA too, so we're back in Bisbee, Arizona, and he just found it a Kyle Reese doll, and he and my wife do like yoga poses with him, and like they take pictures of it and send it out on the internet. I'm not like a social media guy. I finally am able to tweet after I got verified about 6 months ago, and now I'm kind of finding like, it seems like it's a lot of work, a lot more work. I'm kind of busy trying to figure out if my belly button's any different than it was a year ago. Just be spending that much time, on a texting out or to tweeting out my opinion about stuff. I got into it. I was really into it for about a week or 2 weeks. Now I'm just like, what difference does it make what I think,
Well, also a few years ago, Neil Blomkamp was working on an Alien sequel, and the thing that got me most excited was the pre-production drawings that Hicks was in it. And I know it got shot down, and I was so disappointed. But has there been any talk of maybe bringing that back to life? Is there any news on that at all?
No, man. I think that is, she says in The Wizard of Oz, it's not only dead, totally whatever dead, when she's talking about the witch that her house landed on. No, that I've listened to Neil talk about it. I just listened to him. I think he was on Joe Rogan. You get Joe Rogan over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast, I think sometime in the last year. And he basically has said that there's just no chance for that. I was obviously excited about the idea of bringing back Hicks and working with Sigourney's. I don't want to sound like that person, but she really is just fantastic, just so hardworking and fun and funny and great to be around. I was really looking forward to possibly working with Sigourney. I think Jim Cameron might have read the treatment and or the script that Neil had. I think there might have been some connection there also, but I think at that point, Ridley decided to do The Covenant. And The Covenant, for, whether you like it or don't like it, and I've never seen it, but I think it did not very well at the box office.
Yeah.
And so since then, there's been absolutely nothing. And I think the day of those big, $250 million movies that aren't Marvel movies, like Aliens and Terminator and stuff like that, I think they're kind of gone. I've heard that Ridley's working on something for streaming, and I've also heard there's a guy that did a television show here called Fargo, not the movie Fargo,
No, the series,
but
yeah.
Yeah, and I understand that he's working on an Aliens reboot, but both of them, I think, would not have Sigourney or myself. Neil's idea was really cool, and I was really excited about it at the time for the reasons that I just mentioned. But
Yeah.
I don't think there's any hope that that's going to happen, especially now because also Neil's track record, started off, he's in a little bit of a slump, I would say. So I don't know anybody's going to give him $250 million to go make a movie, but we'll see. But I highly doubt that I highly doubt that I'll have anything to do with Terminator or Aliens in the future. I'd certainly like to work with Jim Cameron again, and maybe once Avatar comes out, once all the avatars are kind of finished, he's talking about maybe doing some streaming stuff. So I'd love to work with Jim again, not because, oh my God, it'll be a hit or whatever, but just because just a fascinating person to be around, just like a film genius. And he's just a joy to be around just from a filmmaking standpoint. And another thing that I did mention, the other person that I've worked with and I saw when I was doing Mandalorian was Robert Rodriguez. And I did, I did Grindhouse, Planet Terror with Robert, and that was a lot of fun. And he's also like a fascinating film. I think Sin City was the first movie that was ever done that was like completely CGI in the background, and so and also when Jim decided to do Avatar, he then didn't have time for Alita Battle Angel, so Jim picked Robert to direct that. And although I know it didn't blow the doors off the box office, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was really good. I love Robert. I think he's an amazing guy. So I actually thought I was going to retire a couple of years ago. And that was kind of right before COVID, so it was kind of good timing. And I just got bored, and I thought, I don't want to look back when I'm 75 and think, I could have been doing something. So I hired an agent about 4 months ago and decided to go back to work.
I'm glad you did, because I'm very, very excited about all this stuff you got coming up. This obviously the movie that we can't talk about that you're making down here. But what else have you got coming up? What do you got cooking up behind the scenes, brother?
Well, it's hard to as soon as I kind of threw my hat back into the arena, I started getting calls. There's so much streaming stuff, so much television stuff that I'm kind of looking around. Actually, when I'm in about a year ago, I got an offer from a fellow Australian named is it Luke Spark? Is that right? Luke Spark?
It rings a
You
bell.
know who that is? Yeah. And he did what was his big rainstorms or rain something. Anyway, maybe I've got his first name wrong, but he had a television show that he was doing. It was a time travel thing. And I was very interested in doing that. It was almost a year ago, and then COVID hit hard. You guys in Australia, took that COVID thing very seriously, unlike us in America. Took it very, very seriously. And I think that derailed that. So I'm going to meet with Luke again about that project, but everything's kind of up in the air. I don't, obviously I'm not the type of person that has, and never have been the type of person who's had like films, like one or two lined up in a row. I just kind of go from, place to place. And if something comes up, if I read a script, like I did this one, that I'm doing in Australia, and I like the script and I like the people, I'm like, okay, sounds kind of crazy, but so did Jim Cameron's idea about a Terminator crossing time. And, like I said, So I'm looking for good scripts and good people to work with. But I don't, after this one that I'm doing in Australia, I'm not signed up to do anything.
Well, mate, I definitely want to see more of what you've got coming up, and hopefully, after Australia, we need all the Michael Biehn we can get, brother. That's what we do.
Well, one of the things that I'm going to enjoy is the Australian film world. I mean, I'm just not that familiar with I am with a lot of the people that have kind of crossed over to America and become big stars and stuff. But there's so much. The Australian film world is like just so big. There's just so many series and movies and actors and actresses that I just wasn't that aware of. When I got this job, I started kind of looking around on my phone and there's just so much going on. So, maybe this won't be the last, the film that I'm getting ready to do. Maybe, hopefully I'll meet some people, maybe something with Luke or other people. And, maybe I can work more, because they seem to have a very, kind of, bigger than I imagined, film, and television world in Australia that I was unaware of.
And I think you'll just end up moving here. Just move on the Gold Coast here, mate. Like it's not bad. We've got theme parks here. You can bring your kids to Movie World and Dream World and stuff. We'll have some cold ones. Have a barbecue. It's you'll just love it too much. You'll get used to it. You'll be in Australia in no time. You watch.
Well, you never know. You never know. I do. My immediate family is here, and I have 4 other boys that all one's over in London studying, but he's the other ones all live in Los Angeles. So I still like being around my family a lot. I like being around my kids and being and seeing I've got 3 grandchildren now. I've got three little girls and a little boy on the way. So I've got 4 grandchildren to look forward to seeing. So maybe if I like Australia enough, I'll just bring the whole clan over. You just get the whole Biehn clan.
Yeah.
Start a Biehn clan over there in Australia.
Love it.
Yeah.
You're all welcome. All the beans. All the beans.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we all appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, mate, it's been an absolute honor and pleasure to talk to you today. And we can't wait to see you at Supernova this weekend. We'll have all the links down in the show notes. Have a safe flight, mate. Take care, and come visit us on the Gold Coast sometime, all right?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing everybody.
Awesome. Take care, mate. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.